what is up, everyone? Um,
Uh,
Thanks for coming out and being in the virtual show today. Appreciate it. Our special guest today is Shenali. So,
Ooh, Shenali!
Well,
Recent
Shenali.
grad.
Whoa.
How do you feel?
it feels very rewarding because at the time, like during the whole process of my comp exam, I was mentally drained. So to get to this point and finally feel like done with school after 7 years of college, like it feels like a huge weight taken off my shoulders. So now I can just
Nice.
focus on just working.
Nice.
Sweet.
How was that comprehensive exam versus like a thesis?
So it's with the thesis, you're gonna go through a whole year of research plus writing the thesis and then defending it. So that's like a whole year process versus the comp exam, which is 8 weeks. But it's like 8 weeks of intense work for you pick a topic, pick 3 professors, and then they give you the questions for your topic. And then the page count is like 30 to 40 pages, I believe. And then you present for 30 minutes, and then you have to do a research methods exam. And you have to get an 80% at least on all of those.
Nice. It
Damn.
sounds kind of easier than a thesis, but I guess it depends for the person, right?
No, yeah, it's definitely easier than a thesis, and just not having to conduct your own research was the better option for me. Just also working, like I don't have enough time to do that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joseph. Much easier.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
originally
matter
went
who you are.
into Theragun's improving flexibility, but that just would take so long. So
Yeah, I bet. I wonder if
A
there's
lot of
research.
self-massage.
yeah.
Self-massage.
Did you have the choice between the comprehensive exam and the thesis, or was your program already set up for that?
And you had to choose. I think at the end of the first year, you had to submit your form on what you were going to do.
And what is your major? What did you graduate with?
I graduated with my master's in sports medicine and injury studies from Cal State Long Beach.
Nice. Awesome.
Awesome.
Go beach.
Go beach.
I guess.
You miss CSUN?
Yeah, I love CSUN. CSUN.
Hell
Shout out to the Matadors.
Oh,
Nice. Okay. So
cuerno.
besides school, anything else going on with you, Shenali? I know with the pandemic, it's a little bit more limited, but anything else you want to share?
I've been doing a lot of things that I wouldn't have time for normally, like making my own clothes, painting and stuff. What have you guys been doing? Like, I'd like some ideas on what I could do.
Yeah. Joseph, you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I just been trying to do new hobbies. Like, I just started gardening, or I'm gonna get started on that. I want to grow my
Mexican.
own vegetables. So then, I can give Edwin my cucumbers and my eggplants and tomatoes, But no, seriously, I've been trying to, like, figure out new stuff. I try to get into piano, but...
Eggplants?
Eggplants, yes. But the piano was just too hard. Like, I gave up after the first day. I'm like, I think I need someone like next to me to physically.
A day?
What?
You gave it a day?
I gave it a day, okay?
I mean, it takes years.
Yeah, you have to learn how to read music.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know you were a music major before, but I don't know. Sorry if I offended you. Huh?
I can play the piano. Like, I could teach you.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I call bullshit.
No, I swear. I did it until like high school.
Demonstration right now.
Oh, it's
Gets
done.
out of piano. There's a Beethoven thing. Yeah, I gave it a day. I was like, yeah, it's not gonna work out. Sorry, but I'm gonna give gardening more than a day. 'Cause I feel like it'll be much easier getting my hands dirty.
Rewarding too, because you get to eat your products.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean that's probably the newest thing with me. trying to stay consistent with working out. I love working out with weights, but now it's kind of limited, so I got to be more creative with body weight stuff and other things that I can use. Like
Can't even do a push up.
I can't. You want me to show you? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head like you can see me.
I'll do a push up on you later. But yeah, those are my ideas.
Yes.
Gardening, being in the great outdoors, being one with Earth. What about you, John?
So still working as a temperature screener. Still working those early hours in the morning. But lately I've been running a lot more. I've worked a lot more at the park. A lot more. Joseph's sending me shit. I'm messaging. Sorry. Okay. Just running a lot more at the park. And I recently just went to the pull-up bars at the park, and that was taped off before, but now it's still kind of taped off. But I'm like, I see like 20 people playing football right on the grass area. So I'm like, okay, if I get in trouble for just working out by myself, I shouldn't, because these motherfuckers are just, playing football in close contact with each other, 20 people. So, but nonetheless, I wash my hands after I work out. But yeah, I've been working out at the bars, so that's kind of new, because I haven't done a pull-up in like a month or something like that. So working at the bars, working on my handstand, and kind of just going outside, enjoying the nature, because it's been a couple of nice days lately. And yeah, it's been nice just being outside, working on my handstand, working on my tan. So yeah, it's just nice to get outdoors.
That's good. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
especially now, it's better when people live in houses, right? Because they have a front yard or backyard, so they
Mhm.
can easily go out and stay out there and
Yeah.
get some sun. But people that live in apartments, I feel like it's a little bit harder,
Yeah, definitely.
especially the past, 2 months when there was more restrictions. Right now, you can do a little bit more. I think
Yeah,
parking for the beaches opened up this weekend, or it's gonna open up this weekend. So
yeah, more
obviously
of it.
that's gonna help, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm curious to see how people react to a little bit more freedom, and how they're gonna either take advantage of that, where like everybody's gonna be at the beach, and things are gonna get worse because of that. Um, so I'm just curious to see what happens from this, because everybody wants to be at the beach, especially when there's good weather.
Mhm.
yeah. Things are gonna get worse, because there's no people can't gradually come out, right? It's either yes or no. It's either everybody or nobody,
Yeah,
right? It's gonna be like, okay, if they're going out, I want to go out. So
yeah,
there's like no return to outside plan. It's basically the gates are open or they're closed. So I think then people are, we give them it. People are gonna, see an inch and take a foot. So I don't know
yeah.
if it's gonna have any, bad effects. It probably will. There probably is gonna be some sort of a spike in infections of the coronavirus, but I'm not too sure how detrimental it will be.
And I think that people that are at more risk, like older people, they are, I think, smarter, and they're probably gonna think what we're thinking, like, yeah, it's yes or no, so everybody's gonna go there, so let's not put ourselves in that situation.
Mhm.
At least the older population that believes in coronavirus. Obviously, there's still some that probably don't think it's that serious, but yeah, we'll see how much it grows, how the spike goes up. But I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think that it's going to be obviously as bad as it was when it first started.
true. I believe in you guys.
That's right.
What about you, Edwin?
Yeah.
Well, honestly,
It's,
I just stay creative, so this show, just trying to plan a little bit, and then editing last week's show, it it's it's crazy, because for me it like makes me focus on what I'm doing. So like today I spent like 2-3 hours editing last week's video, and I was so focused, like I lost track of time, lost track of just other thoughts. I was just focused in doing things that I had in my mind. Like I, I wake up thinking, okay, I want to add this, and then later on I start working on it and I start adding it, and then it doesn't come out exactly as I planned it, but I figure it out and try different things. And I'm learning, a new program, video editing program. I've always kind of played around with it, but now I'm trying to just be more proactive in like trying to learn different things, like for example our names, something like that. Like before I was doing it where I created a picture and then put that as the background, which included our names already, but then that gives me less mobility. Like I can't change anything in that picture. So now I just put a simple background, and then I do the names in the program. So now I have more mobility. I'm getting super technical, but those are the things that for
We love
me
it.
are keeping me creative and focused, and it distracts me from other things. And so just focusing on this has been fun for me. And also with Brown Lab Media, I'm working on that. And I just did a collab with my friend Sal. He started a group called 1234 The Dream, or El Sueño in Spanish. And so he's got like 5 people in his group, and they're all rappers, they're all artists. And so they uh, right now created a playlist on Spotify where they're putting the songs that they grew up listening to that inspired them to become artists, hip hop artists. And so I got together with him and just shared the idea with him. And so we kind of published that over yesterday, or Thursday and Friday. So just being creative, man. I just been trying to do collaborations with people, stay connected with friends, doing this with you guys, staying connected with
Nice.
you guys. So it's been fun, man. I've just been having a lot of fun staying creative.
It's good, man. Staying busy.
Exactly.
Nice.
So cool. Well, I think we're good for the check-ins. So let's move on to webinars or continuing education, anything that we're doing. I know you guys did get to be part of some webinars. So any of you want to start on that?
I recently saw attended the PFATS webinar. I was only able to see a couple just because I was busy doing some errands for work. But the one that I liked most about that webinar was the athletic trainer from Kansas City. I forgot her name. I don't know if you guys remember if you attended it. But she had like this program dedicated for quarterbacks, and it included everything from like the kinetic chain down and up. So
Julie
definitely
Freemeyer.
Julie.
Julie
Yeah,
Freemeyer, something like that.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, she's really good. I even wrote down her email just to kind of get more information in terms of her program for quarterbacks. So that's something I can even take for just overhead athletes, So she showed like different exercises from thoracic rotation and extension all the way to lower extremity exercises, and taking advantage just because she was explaining how she only has a limited time with athletes because they're so busy. So I think she was saying how she probably gets about 20 to 30 minutes, so she's got to maximize that time. So she would take advantage of like combining 2 exercises into one. But yeah, so that was my favorite one from that webinar.
Cool.
Yeah.
John?
I went to, or I attended the webinar, and I stayed for the whole 4 hours. It was supposed to be only 3, but they kind of went over time. So yeah, that was that was kind of a long thing. But I was doing work and actually folding my clothes while listening, trying to pay attention. But yeah, that was a good one from the Kansas City Chiefs. I think she made like the QB school. I think that was a pretty good program, and how she worked on flexibility and strengthening, and trying to maintain that flexibility while strengthening, and after that stabilizing. But another good one was one of the athletic trainers. I think he was athletic trainer PT. I'm not too sure. I forgot. His name was Byron Cunningham, and he was talking about return to play protocol with running. And he was talking about how to like load or what's it called? How to adjust the load management as far as like external loads and internal loads. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Not only do our athletes have external loads, whether it be like practicing, working out, games, or just having fun, things like that. But there's also internal loads, which includes like nutrition, sleep quality, rest, any type of fatigue. So I thought that was pretty interesting. and he has types of metrics that he uses in order to progress his athletes to return to run to full sprint and game ready. So thought that was pretty interesting. And obviously, like we don't have those types of like tools they have at the NFL level. Like me, I'm at a high school, Joseph SC son, but I don't know if he has that types of a whole bunch of technology to help him out. But it's pretty interesting. I learned a lot from it, and yeah, it was pretty good.
They had, what was it, like that polar to track heart rate throughout their workout sessions, right?
Yeah, something like that. I didn't take notes on it. Oh, right here, I got it actually. Zebra and polar tracking technologies. Yeah, that's it. That's what it was.
Yeah,
like polar GPS combined with.
Yeah, I see some we use the polar heart rate.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but we only use it for like select athletes at different teams. Like, and then I think we put it for the athletes that are gonna put the most go through the most work. So like, let's say if it was a basketball player, we'll probably give it to the point guard just because they're gonna be putting in the most work running up and down the floor.
True.
And then soccer, I think it was like the midfielder, so
yeah, running back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Shenali, do you have anything you'd want to share with webinars or continuing education or your last semester in school?
I didn't attend any webinars yet. I'm planning on seeing what they're going to do with the NITA convention. But as far as my program, like I've been taking, the program includes a lot of eclectic groups of classes. So like strength and conditioning, nutrition, biomechanics. So it's good to see or to be educated on those different types of topics that you can apply to athletic training as well. So yeah, it's a good program. Gives you different perspectives on different careers.
That's definitely one thing that I liked about athletic training since the beginning, that the prerequisite classes for it required me to take a bunch of different ones, right? Like I had to take, like you mentioned, just nutrition class, a chemistry class, just biology, just all of these different science classes just to apply for the program. So I thought that was fun for me, just because I'm curious about different things, and instead of diving too deep into one specific science.
You like
subject.
chemistry?
I actually did. It was one of my favorite classes.
Man, that's crazy.
I took it was a math class for sure. It was
like converting moles to whatever that was.
It was fun
Nice.
because there was two different charts that you had to look at, right? You had to look at the conversion units, and you had to look at the periodic table, and then you had the question, and then you had to like use all of that to figure out the answer for the questions. I did 4 weeks summer school for my chemistry class, so it was a boot camp, like every day, just grinding it out. But yeah, it was one of my favorite classes because of the challenge, and I felt super focused for it. But it was hard. It was one of the hardest classes too. And my teacher was dope. She was fun. She kept it fun. She kept it cool. She was super real. So that helped.
Dope.
But I was actually in the webinar for the MLB, the one that they've been doing weekly. And this time they were talking about hamstrings. And the best thing that I took out of it was one of the presenters. She's a physical therapist in Santa Monica, actually, so close to us. Her name was Holly Silvers Granelli, and so yeah, she's a physical therapist. She worked with soccer teams, and she transitioned to working with baseball teams as well. But her thing was that she came up with this warm up program, and I shared the link with you guys of the warm up program. And so she basically talked about why they came up with this program, and then the results they got from it, the research they did from it. But the goal of that program was to reduce the risk of hamstring injuries throughout a season. And I think that goes in the kind of the same thing that you guys were talking about with the quarterbacks, right? Creating a program for them to try and prevent injuries. But so I like that, the warm up program. But another thing that she talked about was the the buy-in factor, that a lot of professional teams didn't really buy into it. Like initially, she sent out a survey to a bunch of teams, and there was a lot of interest. I forgot if it was like, I don't know, maybe in the 40s, that the athletic trainers or physical therapists in charge replied saying, yes, we're interested in implementing this program. But then once it came down to it, only one professional team decided to buy in and actually implement the program. And so they only had data from that one team. And so
Which team
that
was
was,
it?
it
If you know.
was, it was a soccer team. I don't know if it was
Uh,
Seattle.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think it was around like 60 teams that they asked.
Right. Yeah,
Wow.
that's crazy, right? And
Yeah.
so she said that initially there was a lot of interest, but then once it came down to it, only one actually implemented it. So I guess wanted to bring that question up to you guys, the implementation factor, um, and how that, I don't know if you guys have seen any of that in your programs, where like athletic trainers are able to take a program from research and actually apply it. And I know for me, when I was a CSUN, um, Steve was super, um, or like he really believed in the warm up program. So he had one for ACL prevention for basketball players, right? So there was a lot of glute activation exercises that he always had them do, and so he was one example for me where he bought into it. But I didn't see that in any of the other schools that I went to. So I guess I just wanted to bring that up to you guys and see what you guys think about that, or your experience has been with that.
For me, I work at Compton College. We don't really have a lot of resources or the space to implement that warm up program or the time. So for what I have done is I gave it to the coaches. I said, because we were having a lot of injuries, especially during the first game for football. So then I gave the coach, hey, here is a warm up program. Do you think that you can implement this before every practice? And he said, all right, that's fine. So that's the way that we did it. In terms of other places I've been, it's pretty hard to get coaches to buy in for that. I know at a D1 university, their strength and conditioning program said that they will guarantee 0 ACL injuries for the entire season, and they had 2.
Wow.
So, I don't know how you can persuade a team to take on your program without promising that much,
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Thanks, Shenali, for sharing that. I think I've seen it once specifically. It was my first site at Pasadena City College. The athletic trainer, she had a prevention program for ACL injuries, and she did with the women's soccer team. And I mean, although she implemented it, it wasn't really done correctly. Like athletes are doing it half-ass. And I think it goes up the chain, right? If the athletes are doing it half-ass, then maybe the coach doesn't really take it seriously. And if the coach doesn't take it seriously, then the coach doesn't probably take the athletic trainer or the research seriously. And I think it has to do with trust as well. If you don't trust your coach, you don't trust the athletic trainer, then you're probably not going to take it serious and not do it. Another time I saw was at Pepperdine, but it wasn't really like a systematic approach as far as a prevention program. It was just athletes coming in, and we kind of tailor whatever they're asking or whatever their deficits are, and we do that as a prevention program with them. So it's kind of different, right? For the community college, we kind of had one program for everybody, no matter what position, and for baseball at Pepperdine, we kind of tailored it to them, whether they were like an infielder, outfielder, catcher, or pitcher, because we all have different demands.
Yeah, for me, at CSUN, when I was a student in my undergrad, they were doing that ACL prevention program, but as soon as I became a GA, they no longer had it. I don't know what happened to it, but right now with us, we're starting to develop programs for baseball and soccer. So I was helping the athletic trainer with that baseball intervention program, where we started with doing or writing down like the eval measures, range of motion, strength, the rotator cuff, and then we kind of put together this program where the baseball players can do it for 2 days out of the week, and each day is split up and involve different exercises, just so it adds variability and they don't get
Nice.
bored. Sorry, I just got a notification. Yeah, so basically, like, it's split up in 2 days where they're able to do it with a limited amount of resources, such as like without dumbbells or even just having resistance bands, just because a lot of athletes, they'll probably use that as an excuse, like, oh, I don't have dumbbells or other equipment, like I just need to do something quick. So that's what we try to target, and keeping it under, like, let's say 20 minutes. I think we had it around 10 to 15. So we're just going to see if once school starts back up and sports starts again, we'll see if it's implemented and if athletes take it seriously.
Yeah, I think something you mentioned that makes sense is the variability of the warm-up program, or the progression of it, because sometimes athletes might get bored of doing the same thing, and then they start thinking, why am I even doing this? Like, I'm good, I'm healthy, let me just do something that's more challenging, or let me go and do some strength training. Like, why do I got to do this small movements? To They don't feel it, they don't see the benefit of it. But I think that obviously we are trying to implement something that has been created with the use of research to be able to help athletes. We're not just having them do something randomly, right? And so I think it's important to try and find something, like mentioned, that is um, that provides some variability and interesting progressions, just to keep them engaged. And I guess just keep reminding them as well, right? Hey, you even though you don't see the daily benefit of it, in the long run, at the end of the season, the goal is to make sure that you are healthy and you're strong, and if you do get hurt, you can come back from that injury even quicker, because you've been doing these exercises that are taking care of the stabilizing muscles, and you don't see it physically, you might not see the aesthetics of it, but it's actually helping you. And I feel like some athletes might buy in when you're able to explain things a little bit deeper. You can even share the research with them and be like, hey, this is the reason why I'm doing it. Show it to them and give them proof of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think from that MLS, what was her name again?
It was Holly Silvers Granelli.
Yeah, so when she was showing the numbers, I was pretty surprised because I felt like it was a significant amount of decreases in not only injuries, but the severity of those injuries and how long they got back into play. So even just telling that to the coaches and athletes can go a long way of them even adhering to that program.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you got to listen to the scientists, right? Like, they spend a lot of time finding these things out, and if we are able to implement them, it'll make our jobs a lot easier, and it'll keep the athletes, our patients, a lot healthier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else on that?
Nope.
Yeah, I'll add something that's just funny. Yeah, during that season where the athletic trainer did implement the ACL prevention program for the soccer players, I think there's 3 ACL sprains, and luckily I got it to attend the one of the surgeries, so that was fun for me, but unlucky for them.
Right. That's always the way to see it, right? Like, for us, we never want to see anybody get hurt, right? It's unlucky, but at the same time, if nobody gets hurt, we don't have a job.
Mm. A good
so
experience.
so we get the
Yeah,
experience.
exactly.
Yeah, we get the repetitions. And all right, cool. So let's move on to the next topic then. So I wanted to talk about sports and there's a little bit more information out now about teams from every major league trying to come back into practices, full practices by July, maybe starting the season in July. Right now, they're having voluntary workouts like at their facilities, and then they're gonna progress to doing more team workouts. So ESPN had a video that I shared with you guys talking about that, where they're still trying to figure out obviously when the right time is to do it. And so the NBA, for example, is hoping they can finish out the season in some way. And July was a month that they were thinking about starting that. Anything? Have you guys heard anything in regards to timing?
I read today that it was late July, but I read something yesterday that Jared Dudley said, and it just it didn't make any sense. He said that when they do find a spot and they settle in, that the team can do whatever they want, but they're going to make sure that LeBron and AD are inside. But if the rest of the team is doing whatever they want, it's going to get to them. So it
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. I think they need to be informed on how this works.
I heard a little bit about that too, and I was confused the same. I didn't understand it, but I think Jared Dudley. I read somewhere else where they were like comparing like Jared Dudley or scientists. Like, who are you gonna listen to? Because Jared Dudley has been out there and doing a lot more media. I feel like he talks to his friends and shares a lot of what he feels, his thoughts. Which, obviously it's good that he's doing that, but he might not be the best source.
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear you,
You're
Joseph.
muted.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
we should
said
just let
Jared
him
Dudley, the man. Shut up. I haven't heard much, like just only about LA County trying to open up probably July 4th, but
July 4th.
I think I was hearing over the radio how MLB wants to start late July. I don't know if that's what they're planning. I don't know if that's what you heard, John.
I heard it was early July, but definitely
or early
July.
Yeah, okay,
that's what I
probably
heard.
early July.
Yeah, try to do like a 70-game season. Try to have 3 divisions, so there's less travel. So I mean,
These are in a
that's
regular
also.
season.
A regular season is 162 games.
Wow.
Wow.
So 162
Yeah.
to 72 or whatever.
Yeah, to
Wow.
70 games, and then that's not including playoffs. And I don't know if they're gonna.
Wow.
I'm not too sure what they're gonna do for playoffs. It's just gonna be the same. I mean, there's been like speculation on how to adjust it. Have kind of just split the country in half, 2 divisions, and have an all-star game at the end and a home run derby rather than having it in the middle of the season. So they just thought, they can look forward to that and have the playoffs, I think, still be the same. I thought that was pretty good idea, but I mean, I honestly don't know what the best way to go about it is.
Yeah. Did you guys see the Korean baseball league?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They're playing. It's just no spectators, and then outside personnel are all wearing masks.
Huh.
Yeah. I saw that, and like I think base coaches, they wear masks, but players are optional if they wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
I think umpires wear masks. I'm not too sure what I saw, but it's like it's optional. So I would think that's mandatory, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then no spectators, or they have like cutouts of spectators. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Cutouts?
Yeah, cutouts, just fake people.
It's
Not
just John
ridiculous.
everywhere.
Same person
He's the
everywhere.
only Korean fan of baseball.
Oh, that's hilarious. That'd be funny.
But I wonder what that's gonna do for, like, let's say basketball, where they, thrive off of the crowd.
Mm.
How is
That's
that?
true. Like that energy, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's where the players have to change their mindset, right? It used to be to do it for the fans that were there to get that energy from them, but now it's just like they're doing it still for the same reason, but they just don't have that immediate engagement from the fans. They
Mm-hmm.
gotta know that there's still gonna be millions watching them because they're not doing anything else. So they need it more now than they did before, right? The fans, the people need some kind of entertainment to distract themselves from the daily pandemic news. But I did hear something about the NBA also trying to figure out if they're still gonna do like the bubble where there's like 2 or 3 different stadiums, right? And seeing if they can just limit it to that so that there isn't that much travel. And then also when they come back, is it gonna be uh, just for the playoffs? Like, are the 8 teams on each conference going to be in the playoffs, or are they going to come back and do a little bit of the last games of the season just to kind of warm up for the playoffs? Like, they're still deciding all that as well.
True.
But yeah, there's still uncertainty, but at least I think it's nice to have an idea of when they're thinking, what the timeline looks like. And every day, I'm sure it's going to change.
Yeah.
Especially as other things start opening up like the beaches. If any player decides to go to the beach like Jared Dudley and then he comes back and plays, it's just like, bro, where have you been? I was chilling at Venice Beach, just getting some sun, some vitamin D. How many people were there? Oh, it was crowded, bro.
Oh,
We
it
had
was awesome.
It's awesome. So many fans were hugging me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny. Cool. Well, I just wanted to, to do a little bit of speculation on that. We as athletic trainers obviously are involved in sports, so we need to be aware of those dates. Joseph, do you know anything about the NCAA or anything from your end? Any news?
From my end, no, I think we're still waiting on that information, but there was some late news about more of the sports that bring in the money. So like football, I think they're gonna start. They're gonna continue with the camps, and they're probably gonna play without spectators. And there was some debate about that, like in terms of how more the sports are able to, be able to compete. But those sports that are able to do that are the ones that are going to bring in the most money, whereas the other sports that don't bring in much are not going to be allowed. So, yeah, they were just looking at it in terms of like fairness, but I don't know. It's more just waiting on it.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anything about the recruiting process for the NCAA or anything?
No.
They probably extended it, but I'm not too sure. Like in terms of the period.
Yeah, because our football athletes aren't able to participate in spring ball, and then get those looks by those recruits who usually come by.
Mm-hmm.
So that's unfortunate for them, especially for our sophomores. But
Yeah,
I wonder how that's going to work out.
Yeah, especially because they're trying to transfer out and go to school.
I think that this is where media comes into play, right? Like if you are an athlete and you are talented and you feel like you can make it to a professional level or even just make it to a university and get a scholarship, this is where like you can have your friends, your siblings, your parents come out and like record you doing something, right? And try to create your own highlight video and like do your own media to try and or show something to the recruits that you can try and take advantage of that nowadays, right? Trying to create your own media rather than waiting for them to come and see you. Like obviously the best thing is to see you live in person, but we can't right now, so you got to be creative.
True.
All right. So last topic then, just wanted to talk some video games with you guys. Did you guys hear about the Unreal Engine 5 and like the new graphics and all of that?
Yeah, man, that looks pretty good.
Looks like a movie.
Yeah, like it's almost next to real life.
Right?
Man, I gotta get my hands on that PS5.
Yeah.
How does the PS5 or will it run for?
I want to say G. What do you think, Edwin?
Like 600?
Yeah, it's closer to 600 or
Yeah.
less than that. It's not gonna be $1,000. Nah.
What about if it's like a advanced one? What's it called? Terabyte.
The regular PS4s are a terabyte already.
Really?
Hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
I got
Xbox terabyte for $2.
2 bills.
$2. Yeah.
Because
Hey.
nobody wants one.
Not the Xbox. PS4 baby.
Whatever.
But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys. Obviously technology advances really fast, as we know, and like you said, Joseph, this is super realistic. And it's just gonna keep getting better and better. So I feel like there's some way that as athletic trainers, or even in the program, like I feel like there's something we can do to create a video game that helps athletic trainers in some way.
And like how?
Just like simulations, like being able to look at an injury through something virtual like that. And
Yeah, I
and
know
then
like doctors they have like simulated or VR like surgeries where they're able to do that,
hmm
right?
yeah.
At Compton, we had a Wii, what's it called? The board that you stand on,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
where the athletic trainer, you bought that to test for like swaying motions post concussion, but it got stolen, so we
What?
didn't use it.
Dang.
Oh my god.
Was this at Compton?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I never think that at Compton.
But yeah, all of our stuff got stolen in the summer, so
Dude. Wow.
Damn.
Sheesh.
That sucks. That's why they can have nice things.
yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Cause yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
would have
work.
never thought to use a Wii board though.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word.
But we don't have a projector or a TV or anything, so like it
Damn.
didn't make any sense. In like settings like D1, where they have those resources, would be a good method.
Yeah. Like I was thinking too with the Wii Sports, for example, you can create a rehab program based on Wii Sports. You know what I mean? Like if you're coming back from a shoulder injury or something, you can do bowling to get that underhand movement going, right? Or tennis to get some explosiveness going overhand, or sorry, backhand, and then the regular swing. But I mean, yeah, I feel like it'll be fun to get creative like that.
I mean, that's a great idea. And I just thought of it right now. The Xbox used to have something called the Connect.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if you guys remember that.
hmm
And there was
Yeah.
like a Connect Sports, and one of them was like volleyball, and this one you had to like, you had to kind of dive for the volleyball, jump up and down, right, with your hands up or one hand. So I thought that was pretty good. And then, like you mentioned, probably implement it in like a rehab program just to like mix it up, make it more fun, interesting, and the athletes aren't bored.
Did you have to
Yeah.
like hold a controller or anything with that?
No. There was this bar and had like motion sensors, cameras, and all you had to do was like before the game started, you had to like identify yourself, player one, player two, and then it just went off your movements, where your hand was, where your body was, and where your head was. So I thought it was pretty dope.
That's a lot more functional rather than like
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Xbox, piece of shit. So
Yeah.
PS4 is so much better.
Yeah, we have something. I forgot what it's called though.
It's like, yeah, you guys have a remote with like a thing on the end or something?
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
a
know.
ball. I think.
Like a ball,
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a shake weight type thing. I don't know what it is.
Well, yeah, you could sit down and do that with the Wii, but with the Xbox, you have to actually get up.
Right.
I
Yeah.
actually still have it. That's pretty interesting. You know what? Like, if I have a clinic, like I do things myself, that'd be pretty dope to implement.
Do it at Village.
Really? That'd be sick, guys. That'd be sick. But
Just have
there's
a
no
whole bunch of
TV.
kids lined up
Like,
with fake injuries.
I want to do rehab, bowling rehab.
I think I strained my ankle.
It.
Yeah, and you can also keep track of their statistics, right? Like you can see like how many swings they're taking. I feel like obviously if we're able to create something athletic training specific, you can get all of the statistics that you need in order to track movements more in detail. And if we use regular sports games, obviously you don't have access to as much data, but I think it's something that could be worked on for athletic trainers that are into technology and video games.
That'd be good for baseball.
Hmm.
Pitch count.
Exactly.
That'd be good.
Exactly. Pitch count. Yep. But yeah, so I just wanted to share with you guys that just a little bit of an update on technology that's coming up and the graphics, how crazy realistic they look.
Yeah, that was cool.
I get a nice TV, right? Kind of have no
4K.
24-inch.
Well, I mean, you can.
4-inch TV, really?
My
Really,
frozen.
Joseph? Isn't that your phone?
That's a way less.
What?
A 4-inch TV? Are you really?
I said 24-inch.
Oh,
24.
I didn't.
She.
I heard
No, I said
4-inch.
24-inch. That's an awkward joke. I'm not even going there.
4-inch.
I said 24. It makes no sense.
4-inch. I guess. Oh, no.
Anyways,
Cool.
I like your background, by the way, Joseph.
thanks. I know you do.
Very Eastern, or I don't know what plant that is. Nice.
Bamboo.
China.
China.
All right. Any last thoughts from you guys?
Nope.
You're just blank right now, blinking.
I'm blanking.
All right. I guess I'll go. I wanna. I guess thoughts right now. I just want to appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys, Shenali. Thanks for coming out to our video call. We appreciate you for that, definitely. And it's always nice to talk to other people and get their perspective. And I appreciate you, Edwin, Joseph, for the video call, and also Yakir for yesterday. Thanks for coming to my house yesterday. I appreciate it, guys.
Of course,
Okay.
bro.
Happy birthday.
How old are you again? 30?
27.
Just kidding. Woo, 27.
27, yeah, man. 27.
27 years ago.
Cool. Well, on my end, same thing. Just thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. It's cool to still have some way to communicate, right? And I feel like this is something that can be fun and at the same time educational and informative. And I appreciate you guys just coming on here and being willing to be in front of the camera and sharing your ideas and your thoughts. Sometimes I feel like I've been there a lot of times where I feel shy, or I'm just like, nah, I'd rather not even go into that. Like, I don't want to put myself out there. But I feel like the way I see it right now is about legacy. Like at the end of the day, like everybody's gonna die, and at the end, like how are people gonna remember you? And this is just one way that people can remember. You know what I mean? Like if anybody wants to hear your voice, Shenali, once it's all over, they can go on YouTube and look the active variable show, and then they'll find you and they'll hear your voice. You know what I mean?
You're
You're
on
gonna
the
die.
grid now, Shenali. How do you feel about that?
Forever.
You're gonna
Forever.
die. You're gonna die.
What
Yep.
if what if I go viral?
Yeah, that's a possibility too, right?
Then we get royalties on whatever you make. Just want to let you know.
Yeah.
We get like advertisement, commercials,
Merchandise.
Merchandise?
like for
Merchandise.
makeup or for like AT tape or something, kin tape.
Oh.
We get the monies.
Money.
Please.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm a pretty awkward person, so I didn't know how this was gonna go, but it didn't feel weird or awkward or anything.
Yeah, it's just like I tell people, it's just a conversation, and you've always had good talks with us, especially. So, hopefully you'll be back again if the board approves it, because we gotta make sure the viewers like you. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, hopefully you can come back.
Yeah, we have a big fan base. So
Yeah.
Sounds good.
but yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that we're able to create a little bit of atmosphere where you can come in here and just like Joseph said, just have a conversation, not feel so pressured into like just being here. You know what I mean? Like, come out here, have a talk, catch up with us, and we'll see where the conversations go. John and Joseph can fuck around a little bit too much sometimes, but
That's what makes it fun.
we need some distraction sometimes.
Yes, gotta lively up the show, baby.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Thumbs up for that.
nice background, by the way, John.
Hey, nobody said anything, so I'm like, can anybody see it?
I try to do that so no one would care.
It was
Like,
ignored
no
on
one
purpose.
say anything. No one say
You're
anything.
an asshole. Oh.
Like you were lost in space. Like no one cared.
Actually, I had my screen to switch to active speaker, so I didn't think anybody could see me, and then I switched to the gallery one, so I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, everybody can see me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
damn, you're a bitch.
Cool, boys. Well, that's it on my end. It's good talking to you guys, and we'll be back next week.
Hey.
For sure.
Bye, guys.
So let's start the
Bye. Thank
podcast.
you.
Thanks, Shenali.
Thanks, Shenali.